I've been expecting you. Come on in. Have a seat. Well, anywhere you'd like, really. Did you have any trouble getting here? Yeah, I get that. Security can be irritating at times, even with the proper ID. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's just that we've had a few disgruntled clients before, and let's just say security's been a little bit on edge since then. It's alright. After a few days, people should start to recognize you and stop giving you such a hard time. By the way, help yourself to some water on the table if you need. There's also drinks over there, if that's more your flavor. Hey, I was just offering. If that's not really your style, then no problem. But I just wanted to make it clear that, things can get pretty stressful up here, so day drinking is not completely off the table. Of course, just trying to make you comfortable. Well, it is only your first day here. Though, technically, you've been in this building many times, but it'll be your first time on the upper floors, correct? How are you feeling about that? Excited? A little nervous? Well, don't worry too much. As mentioned before, the first few days, well, maybe even up to a week if needed, will be sort of like a practice run, just to get you accustomed to the flow of things around here and see how well you mesh with the team. If you or I feel that this role just isn't the right fit, then by the end, we can have you reassigned back to your previous position. No hard feelings, of course. So, I don't ever want you to feel like you're trapped into this just because you got chosen, okay? You can drop this anytime you'd like if you don't feel like this is the right fit, or if you just don't like this. Good. And moving on, I trust that you've already looked over the documents and expectations that HR provided, yes? Yeah, as in you've read all of it? Excellent. Yes, it is quite a lengthy packet of information. You can blame your predecessor for that one, and not me, though. I'm not throwing him under the bus, it's just the truth. You can ask anyone around here. Despite being the CEO, I've never been one to sit down and draw up painfully detailed documents if I could help it. Though, I suppose that's why he was such a good match for me. Making my underlings do all the heavy lifting. I guess that's what you'd expect, right? Well, you're free to think what you'd like, but hopefully by the end of this week you'll be looking at me a little bit more favorably. And if not, I guess I just didn't do a good enough job then. Now, moving on. Ordinarily, someone else would be conducting this exchange we're having right now, but due to the specifics of this position, I thought it'd be better if I handled this myself. For my own sanity down the line as well. Relax. You don't need to be so formal. Yes, I am your boss. And while I expect a level of professionalism from you, I am interviewing you to be my assistant, in essence. Although you have the position now, we still need to see if we would work well together. Yes? And that goes both ways, of course. What I mean? Well, it means that we'll be interacting a lot with each other, directly, face to face. So, I'd also like to use this time as an opportunity to gauge just how well we can get along. Oh, believe me, personality matters. Even if you try to hide it, parts of yourself will still seep through. In a way, I suppose I am. I do believe a secretary should be treated like a close friend. Don't you agree? Because, I assure you, there's a lot more to being a good secretary than simply being able to follow orders. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't be. Obedience is still very necessary. But if that's all I was looking for, then I'd be better off with an Alexa, don't you agree? And if you're unhappy working directly under me, then I'd rather not make you feel like you're forced to lie about that. No, I need someone who can follow orders, as well as provide their own input, as required by the situation. Does that make sense? And if you got the position, do you think that is something you can do for me? Good. That's what I like to hear. Now, at this point, I would also like to add that I'm not interested in hiring someone for the short term. Well, if you take this position, then you should expect to hold this for a while at least. Let's just say that it's a lot of trouble and work training new secretaries. And while both the pay and perks reflect my expectations of you, the work itself can be demanding at times. I would require your readiness at a moment's notice for anything I desire. And I do mean anything. Oh, I don't know. Say I'm planning to stay late, which happens most nights recently, and I'm in the mood for some takeout from a specific restaurant. Then it would fall to you to be ready for that. Because I certainly don't trust a random driver to deliver things properly. And say, even if they do happen to get here in one piece, the food would have gone cold by the time they get past security. Speaking from experience, of course. And besides that, there may be other things I'd need from you. You think so? I suppose now this may sound like an unreasonably tall order for a simple company worker, but, well, first off, you would be right. But you're not like the rest of my workers. For the rest of my workers in this company, this does not matter to me, of course. I don't even know they exist. But for those working directly under me, I expect the utmost obedience, loyalty, and promptness. You think you can do all of that for me? Let's get started with some hands-on experience. What should I have you do for me first? Anything I want. Interesting. Well then, since you put it that way, why don't I get you started with organizing some documents for me? What kind of documents? Well, I'm afraid that's classified. I'm sorry, but it's true. They are. I mean, granted, now that you're working directly for me, you will be trusted with these as well, but please, don't make a habit of snooping, alright? A little is fine, of course. Can't really help if we're a little bit curious about some things, now can we? Anyway, as far as the first stack that I want you to look over, these will contain papers that cover meetings and requests for the upcoming weeks. As you can imagine, I have to meet with many clients, in addition already to our own departments within the company throughout the week. These files exclusively contain requests made by external companies and organizations that wish to do business or collaborate with us. And in essence, your job right now will be to sort out what they want and then create a brief for me, because these people can be needlessly wordy with their requests. And finally, find a free time slot in my schedule and enter them into the calendar. Oh, no, there's still a little bit more. After that, you want to take it down to the department by the elevators so they can verify with said groups, and they'll stamp here when... Wait. They should stamp here if everything's in order, but there's already a stamp here for some reason. Wait a minute. Are all of these are already done, aren't they? Seriously? Fucking hell, Connor. Going against me till the very end, huh? Nothing. It's not you. No, it's not a big deal. It's just that, well, your predecessor was being a workaholic as usual, and, well, this is what I get. Oh, yeah, that Connor. My previous secretary before you. Well, it's just that I told him to go a little easy with his work. He even recommended that he take this week off while he was getting his stuff cleared and in order. Plus, I wanted a chance to give you something to work on too, as practice. I guess I should have known he'd finish all this up just to annoy me, I bet. I'm gonna have to pay him a visit sometime. He may not technically be an employee of mine anymore, but still. Huh? Of course, Yeah, we keep in contact. I mean, I was the one who recommended that he go out on his own with that startup idea of his that apparently no one else believed in. But I think it's genius, personally. What? Us? Falling out? Where did you hear something like that? Everyone loves to gossip, I suppose. Oh, don't worry. I asked you, so you're not in trouble. I know, you're just repeating what you heard. Anyway, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but nothing you've heard is true. I mean, to be honest, far from it. Well, I guess, except for the coffee being thrown at me part. Actually, he didn't really throw it at me. It's more like he spilled it on me as he tripped, bringing it to me. Though, who knows? Maybe it was on purpose. It's fine. The coffee was cold anyway. Figures. Bringing me cold coffee on his last week. Well, since everything has already been done for you, as I'm gonna assume, since you did a pretty thorough job on this stack of papers here, I don't really have anything to give you today. In terms of work, at least. But I suppose it can also be a good thing. It does give me time to get to know you more personally. We'll be spending a lot of time together, after all. Am I that curious? Yes, I admit I am interested in you. After all, I did handpick you myself, didn't I? What am I implying? I'm implying that I expect a lot of great things from you. What? Were you expecting me to say something more? There can be. I mean, you're not done seeing me yet, are you? We're alone here, after all. Tell me, what do you want right now? Fine. And I'll tell you what I'm thinking about then. What exactly that I want. Having you here in front of me, it would be all too easy to do whatever I want with you in my office, while everyone outside working is none the wiser. I could pull you over and bend you over my desk right now. You want to be a good secretary for me, don't you? You want to show me how much you've wanted this position, how you've really, really earned it. Good. And first, get under here, under my desk. Don't be coy with me. Get under now. There you go. Now, be a good secretary and do what I say.